Today, I'm going to be reacting to Bricky's How is Warhammer 40k Darktide doing now? Please go support his content, and the original video will be in the description. Thank you. Welcome to A Christian Reacts. If you like what you see, please consider a like and subscription, as that really helps the channel out. And share it to all platforms, that really helps the channel out. Also, the memberships are go, so if you want to contribute to the channel, they're there, and you'll be able to use a chat room and stuff like that. Also, I got a Discord going, so we can connect and play games and stuff like that. So there is that. Also, I do Warhammer 40k lore in the Bible shorts, so if you want to check that out, that'll be in the shorts section. And then I do things kind of differently on this channel. So I do reactions, but I also do biblical commentary that's pertaining to the lore of the video, of what's going on. Mostly Warhammer 40k lore or Trench Crusade or whatever. So, anyways, let's go on and get started.
Sometimes food tastes pretty good.
I'm sure you guys don't want to watch an advertisement. So let me... Okay.
Entering this video, and let's purge everything.
Yes, sir.
Darktide.
The warp be like?
It is a video game. You can
And the warp be like?
play it. I have made videos on it, both when it came out and also quite a few with my streams as of late.
Don't you just hate it when a beast of Nurgle loads its thick, chunky load into your healthy breakfast cereal?
Wow. It received one of its largest and most expansive updates yet that comes with major overhauls to the gear system, as well as talent trees for each of the individual classes. The question has been posed.
Can you imagine getting pox burst all over you? It missed the sock, man. Sorry.
Many times.
Sorry.
Is Darktide good now? But the problem with that question is that it's asking the wrong thing. It's not about whether or not Darktide is good.
I would say Darktide has been good since the very beginning, I would say. And the problem with it wasn't finished. That was the basic problem of it. But the base game was good.
It's about whether or not Darktide is complete. Now, I hold the rather hot take that Darktide has always been a good game. What I'm looking for in the title just wasn't what everyone else seemed to have been looking for. I wanted a game with a great 40k aesthetic, solid co-op gameplay, and a general, I'll run a few games mentality to it. I was looking for 40k Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, same here. Especially, you know, when you had Vermintide 2 out there. But, anyways, I'll let him finish.
Wasn't really looking for a live service, long-term grinding kind of game. So, in a sense, I always got what I wanted. I played about 40 hours, felt satisfied, and put it down. To me, Darktide was always good. And if good is the wrong word, then I can say Darktide was always fun. Its issue was that it just wasn't finished. It was underbaked and it underdelivered. And it needed another full year in the oven before it should have been released. But those days are behind us. And the game has received its substantial...
All right. So... Of course, what I do on this channel is I bring biblical commentary. So this one's interesting. This is about the mark of the beast, the people who take it, and then a vial that gets poured on the last days or whatever. So Revelation 16:2. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon which worshipped the image. And real quick, where is it? You find noisome here. This is what noisome means. A bad primary word, worthless, whereas, where is it? Depraved, or injurious, bad, evil, harm. Anyways, let me find a better thing of it.
New update. So how is it? How is the game as a whole now? Well, for starters, it definitely runs better than before. Optimization for the most part feels a lot better for me. And it's not perfect. I can still see it chugging during some of the more crazy parts.
Okay. This is a better one. So this is from the Pure Cambridge thing or whatever. It's a harmful, injurious, noxious, offensive to the sense of smell, fouling smells, or of foul smelling. And yeah. So it's like this evil sore, but it kind of comes from, I don't know. I'll bring up the verse here. But anyways, sorry.
But for the most part, the game seems to be moving at a pace that is substantially better than it used to be going at. Visually, the game was always very pretty. Everything looked great and felt great, so keeping up with its design aesthetic is fantastic. I love to see it. It still might be the game that gets the Warhammer art direction done the best. Nothing so far really grasps the universe this well, even though it's not necessarily an update. The fact that the game just runs smoother with this look is awesome to see. There are also some new weapons that were added to the game for the various
Okay. This is kind of what it's talking about. It's talking about this supernatural plague, kind of. This noisome, that it's bringing like this evil death to it, kind of. So Psalms at 91. Well, let's see here. 3 through 5. So surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. There's noisome again. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings thou shalt trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. And ready, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness. So it's this supernatural plague thing that's going on here. So, very interesting.
Classes. Not a ton, but since the launch of the game, there has been more, and that's good to see. Also, a few more missions too, which is nice. 40k missions here in Tertium kind of look the same a lot of the time, but the objectives are different, and that is also, once again, pretty neat. But let's talk about the meat of the update, the class overhaul. Before, you just had the skill trees down the line as you leveled up, and that was not enough to make interesting and varied choices in the game. It works for a beta, not a fully released product. Now,
the last time, this is where it was the last time I played. And you could pretty much customize your character to the way you liked it, from what I saw. Definitely a lot better than what it was. I don't know why they released it the way they did, man. They would have a lot more players if they just would have waited or put it in early access.
now, each class has 3 separate trees you can go down. Normally, they go along lines of damage, support, and some kind of third option that is varied. Before we even get to the skills, I want to point out the artwork. Games Workshop is once again completely horrid at showing off the full artwork of their products or at crediting their artists. So all I can do is show you it via the in-game menu. But look at that artwork. Each of them is specific to that particular class gimmick. So you see the veteran, for example, you got the gun-toting version, the commissar/leader version, and the
You know, I think for like the Psykers, it would have been cool to see more mutations on them. I think, like Bricky said in the last video, I think that would be cool. But
Beaky-like version. The Zealot, the Ogrim, the Psyker, all the art just bangs like it always does. Credit your artists, GW. Let them post their work, please, because this shit is awesome. That aside, the way the skill tree works is that each level gets you a point. Then you normally go down the various trees to determine how you want to build your character. And let's take, for example, the veteran. He's classic gunman shoot guy, and also the Imperial Guard are extremely cool. Each tree has 4 main components to it, along with some smaller perks and other base stat upgrades. Those are your grenade, aura, ability, and final, like,
Grenade! Sorry.
modifier. For the vet, His grenades are the Shredder Frag Grenade, Crack
Don't know why
Grenade,
they remind
and
me of Call
Smoke
of Duty.
Grenade. Each of them have their own utility and function. Then you have your auras. This is always some kind of buff that affects those in your aura. Darktide really likes it when you stay as a team, so for the veteran, it's either damage, movement, or ammo replenishment. The big one, of course, is your skill. Much like the artwork above, each skill delves into a particular part of the Imperial Guardsman. You either have the front and center damage dealer, great at popping heads and just outputting efficient firepower. Then you have the commissar concept. I guess it's more of a sergeant, if anything. The leader, the born leader. They have voice of command, which pushes back enemies as well as replenishes the toughness of your allies.
And from what I noticed, a pistol is good with that, in my opinion, anyways. Maybe a heavier one like a hand cannon or something, but I don't know. I have a hard time with the hand cannons because you always have to load or reload. But anyways.
Then there is Infiltrate, which is the sort of stealth mode that allows you to go about where you need and do the guerrilla tactics that a lot of guardsmen are known for. These can be upgraded in tons of fun ways too, with various
That's an irradiated turd right there. That's what happens when the nukes fall and you take a poop in the wrong spot and it becomes sentient.
perks that affect your ability specifically. Voice of Command has an amazing ability that reduces its range but revives downed allies when used. Then, finally, you have the last modifier. This is normally just a huge bonus in some way, like massive damage or defense buffs or a crazy stacking option. Of course, despite each tree going with its similar vibe, left for damage, middle for support and tank, right
Left
for
for
movement,
damage,
you can
left
bounce
for
around if you'd like, and have a
Left for Dead, am I right?
additional points to spend even when you get your final option completed. So if you want a smoke grenade but still want to do volley fire, that's totally an option. The Zealot has a similar concept to them. There is a main charge move, a special defensive aura, and a stealth ability too. Little unsure why they have the stealth option when the Guardsman also has that option. I feel like the last thing a Zealot would be is sneaky unless you're doing like a Death Cult Assassin style thing, but I would have way preferred some kind of horde clearing option, something that goes into large multi-enemy killed swings or flamers or something. But yes, the Zealot has the classic watch as I run in and somehow kill everything I see in melee or just die immediately. The Overwatch Genji syndrome. The middle ability, Chorus of Spiritual Fortitude.
So this is interesting here. This is about zealots anyway, but so zealots, a sect of Jews, so this is according in the Bible here, which originated with Judas the Galanite, Acts 5:37. They refused to pay tribute to the Romans on the ground that this was a violation of the principle that God was the only king of Israel. You guys had that chance way back when, but you didn't take it. But anyways, you had a chance for God to be your king, but you chose a man. But anyways, which is still going on to this day, not just in Israel, but everywhere. But anyways, I digress. They rebelled against the Romans, but were soon scattered and became a lawless band of mere brigands. They were afterwards called the Sicarii, from their use of the Sika, i.e. the Roman dagger. So that's what a Jewish zealot was.
Is a really interesting one as a general channel support ability for you and your team. The Zealot truly feels like so long as I keep murdering everybody, nobody can kill me. Nobody can be a witness if nobody's there.
I like their fire grenades. Those come in handy a lot, especially in higher difficulties in like Heresy and Damnation.
They're to witness, and it's pretty fascinating to see how they go through all the options. The Ogrim is also wildly changed in a lot of great ways. Firstly, you have Big Friendly Rock, the best ability of the entire game. It replaces your grenade with a big rock, and it's just never not fun. Oh, get him, Brickle. I missed. Next thing I see is getting a rock in the face. I don't care what kind of enemy it is. Sup? You! Well,
I'm going to bring something. Of course, I'll bring up Genesis, but I also want to bring up another thing about that. Or real quick, I'll bring this up. since I've already brought up Genesis 6 all the time on this channel. But 2 Samuel 21:16. And Ishbanab, which was of the sons of the giant, the weight of those who spear weighed 300 shekels of brass in weight, being girded with a new sword, thought to have slain David. And then, but Abushai, the son of Zeus, succored him and smote the Philistine and destroyed him. Where is it? Yeah. But anyways, as you see here, he is witches of the sons of the giant, which is interesting. And then, of course, you got Genesis 6. Bring that up here.
I don't want to do the Ogrim grenade because I have Ogrim rock. Beat scissors. He also has the box of grenades, but they always explode now. And then you have the nuke. If you thought like, oh my God, how could I ever not use the rock every single time? They somehow found a way by giving you the Ogrim nuke. It's a gigantic bomb with an astronomical radius. It's so silly in the best of ways. Of course, you still have your bull charge, but you also have a massive AoE taunt ability, making you a pretty serious tank as well as keeping enemies off your team's backs. It's not as useful against ranged, but god damn does it help divert problems. Then you have your brand new...
Okay. So this is Genesis 6, verse 4. And there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. Also, in Sodom and Gomorrah, it wasn't, but bongo going on. It was, I'll bring it up here. I'll bring the verse that says this. But it says they were mating with strange flesh, right? They were going after angels and stuff like that. That's why in Sodom and Gomorrah, when it was about to go, that's why they wanted the angels so bad, right? You don't pick it up because it doesn't say too much about it, but they really wanted the angels, even over the two beautiful daughters of Lot. So, which is very interesting. But anyways, so there were giants. There were this angel-human hybrids going on. I'll bring up the strange flesh one.
Point blank barrage. Basically, pull out your gun and proceed to never stop firing into the enemy. And the more you shoot, the better it is. And the more you shoot, the more fun it is. The Ogrim changes are really good. I like them quite a lot. I think it has probably the most interesting build options out there. Varied and hilarious at the same time. Finally, the Psyker now has a million new abilities, but everyone has diverted themselves to the bees and the dogs with bees and the...
Okay. So, Jude 1:7, even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, right? As set forth an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. So, they were going after this angel-human hybrid. And you can see, like, the reason why God was so harsh on Israel is because if they were go to these gods, they would, procreate with them as well, and that would take away Israel, right? The pure line of Israel, so that Jesus can be born, right? You can see that in Genesis 3:14, where it talks about the seed of the woman, he would put enmity between the seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent. Okay. Anyways.
Dogs with bees in their mouth, and when they bark, they shoot bees at you.
Psyker has a lot of really neat new tools. Smite being one for lightning and the head pop still, but Assail is the obviously strong one, sending out homing darts and just immediately killing everything they touch all throughout the map. It's so...
Okay, here's a good one for the Psyker. Job 36:32. He fills his hands with lightning, and he commands it to strike its mark. He governs all aspects. Oh, wait. Never mind. I think I read the wrong. Oh yeah, and his thunder announces the coming storm. Even the kettle make known its approach. Okay, there's the rest of it. Anyways, I just thought that was pretty cool.
So good that I think it's completely carried a lot of people to the higher levels, and so much so that I think it's become a crutch, because Psyker can actually put together some disgusting combos by stacking all kinds of buffs and bonuses one after the other, but it feels like it pales in comparison to just a sales spam, which is unfortunate because their update is probably second only to the Ogrim's one in terms of great new additions. That said, Smite also seems really, really good as a crowd control option. That kind of gets into the team comp thing when you go to the really high levels, and for the most part, it just seems like in your basic gameplay, a sale is the big winner. I'd say the new class update is the highlight, obviously, but it's also made the game a bit easier than before. If you were playing a lot of level 3s and you're probably doing level 4s now.
Okay, so this will reinforce the giant thing too, that it was still going on even after Genesis 6 and Noah's Day and all that, which is why God had the flood, by the way. Okay. Numbers 13:33, and there we saw the giants. So these are the spies giving a report, right? Those 12 spies. Only 2 were saying, "Hey, we can do this," right? But the other 10 were like, "No, we can't," and you'll see why. And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak. This is, in my opinion, where you get the Anakim from, but anyways, which come of the giants. And we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight. So now you know why they were afraid to go into the promised land. But anyways, so more giants to reinforce what Genesis 6 is.
Which is why they add a brand new endgame mission called the Auric Maelstrom. All of the upgrades you get are also just really good and often flat bonuses between the super good ones, so you definitely have been power crept a little bit. The last thing that's been changed is the overall gear stuff. This is a good general change, but it's also, it's a bit too complicated for my smooth brain. Getting a gun is one thing, but getting a gun with the right rating is another thing. Plus there's the perks, and there are levels to the perks, and you can replace up to 2 of the 4 perks in total, but in order to get fancy,
you got to have the same weapon, I do believe, and the same blessing, which kind of sucks.
Perks, you need to dismantle the exact same weapon with the perk on it already,
right there.
Which makes getting a god roll weapon rather difficult to get unless you luck out, which sometimes you do.
You know what? Give me a melee weapon. I don't care.
Oh,
no way.
Savage Sweep. Hitting at least 3
Oh,
enemies with
man.
attack increases your cleave by 200% for 2 seconds. Level 4 perk.
Whoa.
Wait, this is really good.
But honestly, it's hyper-specific weapon perks that need to be removed to then be added to a new weapon. It's just a lot. Now, I don't mind if they make it hard to get god roll weapons. They're called god roll weapons. They should be rare and hard to earn, looking at you, Destiny community. But I think some of the restrictions are a bit too much. It also creates a really bad leveling problem. At the time of writing this script, I have a total of 60 hours.
I didn't have to deal with this, the bad leveling, or not bad leveling, but the long leveling, because I leveled up all my characters kind of at the beginning when the game first came out, when it was like really easy to level up. I mean, it wasn't easy, but you could level up pretty quickly. But yeah.
In the game, and I only have 1 level 30 character. I have another mid-20s, mid-teens, and around a level 10 final character of each class. Now, leveling wouldn't be as much of an issue if the weapons weren't so substantially worse before level 30. At level 30, they reach their max.
Now, I will say I haven't gotten a weapon past 500, so I think I'm doing something wrong, I guess, huh?
Potential. So leveling up, upgrading, consecrating, all of that weapon option interfacing feels completely pointless until you are level 30. But getting level 30 takes a really long time. Now, they did make it a little faster with a new update, but it still feels way too long, considering you really don't want to waste your money on new weapons until level 30. It feels like it's not a game, then an end game. It's just grinding chore work and then the game. When you
That's a lot of what the games nowadays are going towards, and it sucks. You know, they want to push you towards the end game instead of enjoying the journey.
You hit 30, you can mess around with your builds and weapons, and a whole new world tends to open up, and it's fantastic. But if you're a brand new person to the game and you hear you have to take around 15 to 20 hours of gameplay to get one character to the real game, it's pretty off-putting, even if the gameplay is still rather stellar. But some of the most stellar gameplay can still feel like it's a chore when the rewards are lackluster. So it comes down to the question again.
Yeah.
Is Darktide good / fun / complete? Yeah, it's still very fun. It's a good 40k game with a great look and the gunplay is solid. Is the game complete?
And it's got good voice acting too, I think, in my opinion.
I'd say yes, but complete in a way how a full meal might not satisfy you. Like, you ordered a cheeseburger. You got the cheeseburger, but you're still kind of hungry because there wasn't a side of...
Sorry, guys, my face is all itchy, man. I think it's the pollen outside. It just rained, so... But anyways. But man, that looks good. Oh, my goodness.
fries with it. You just
I'd
bought the
take it.
burger. And you thought that would be enough, but it isn't. So you kind of wish there was a combo where the two of them were together, but it's not. This is one of those hipster burger joints with the horribly awful like metal tall stools and the wooden countertops and the rustic lights that sell you a one burger for $18.95, but not with fries. And they have
I would rock that burger, man. My stomach is shrunken, man, since I started being healthy and working out and all that. But man, I could eat that.
Beer at $15 a glass. Yeah, it's like that. There's a saying in game development I've heard every so often. Players are really good at knowing when something is wrong, but absolutely abhorrent at offering fixes for it, outside of small things like quality of life.
You know, that it's almost like, you know, how people criticize you and on your videos, especially on, you know, me with videos and stuff like that. All they're doing is attacking and attacking and attacking, but they never give you a solution. They just tell you suck. Right. Some of the best changes on this channel have been people giving me constructive criticism, right? And that's the way to go about things. Like, if you think something's wrong, try to help them fix it, right? Because, like, if I'm doing something wrong and someone tells me and gives me a solution to it, I'll fix it if it's viable, right? But anyways.
Only say this because I'd like to offer some fixes, but I don't want you to take them with a grain of salt. I think Darktide just needs 20% more stuff. It needs 2 to 3 more weapons in the...
I would say more story. If they definitely needed some more stories. You know, like Left 4 Dead, something to that extent, to where you can go on a campaign thing, you know. But anyways.
Range and melee department for each class. It needs a bit more variety in its mission style. It needs another mini boss. It needs another like 3 assassination style missions. It just needs a bit more. I think they should really go down the Left 4 Dead route. Darktide's story isn't even a story. Its writing is god awful, and it's just fluff cutscenes for the most part. There is no Darktide story. Don't let them fool you. But there can be. The little 5-chapter campaigns in Left 4 Dead would be perfect. It also...
Great minds think alike, Bricky.
Would give you a bit more of like a long-term thing to do with your friends instead of just popping around for small 20-minute missions every here and there. Having a full 5-mission campaign would be excellent. Pick a spot in Tertium, go through your 5 separate missions with their own cohesive level design and narrative, throw a boss at the end, and bam! Little mission campaigns like that would do wonders for this game, would be absolutely incredible, and you can give out rewards for them. You can have a little contained storyline, a specific art direction of the area. It's a great maybe 2-hour-long session with your friends, because then it's a thing where you can all hop on and do this kind of campaign together. And as you go through the missions, you get better gear as time goes on. Simple on mission 1, beat the final.
Hey, I agree 100% with that. I would love that, man. Like a little 5 campaign mission or a chapter. You know, where you go through the thing like Left 4 Dead. I would love that.
Final boss, possibly hyper special drops with hyper special perks. I mean, you could almost call it a raid, if I'm being perfectly honest, though it's a little bit different than that, I suppose, but kind of feels like it. Just there's so many stories that can be told in Warhammer, obviously, and having that kind of method, I think, would really serve Darktide well. On the other aspects of Darktide, non-gameplay related, the UX in this game, the interfacing, is downright strange. It's a new weekly contract, but when did it reset? Wait, but I've completed missions 2 hours ago. You have to look at them first? Really? Oh,
what?
my God.
I didn't even know that.
Why, when you go to this merchant, do you have it sorted by rarity low to high? I just don't really get why this is the way it is. And it needs a bit more. It needs a reason to own guns at lower levels or to keep them to upgrade later on. And oh my God, I totally forgot. If there's anything this game needs more than anything else, literally, if there is any change for this whole game, let me change my voice. They gave you a barber for your appearance, but holy shit, let me change my voice. I don't know why you won't let me, but the voices in this game are some of the best in any 40k game, and 40k games have some of the best VA work out there.
My guy has like a Jamaican accent, and he's white. Or my Psyker, I should say, which is pretty funny. But yeah.
Simple as that.
Which I guess there's white Jamaicans, so. But anyways.
You should be more careful with those stray fools. I might get offended.
These are some of the best player character VAs I have ever heard, and the fact that I have to stick with one of them, especially when you've added a ton of brand new abilities with brand new voice lines, is a crime. It is a travesty against the Golden Throne. Please let us change our voices. So yeah, Darktide feels complete as a game, and if it launched as it is now when the game came out, I think the discourse around the title would be a hell of a lot less.
And there would be a lot more players, 100%. So.
Of now, though, I still think it could use a bit more. But do I think it's still worth the money? Well, money worth is different because what my money is and your money.
I think so. I think it's worth the money. I got my $40 out of it, so.
Money is totally different. I don't know your life. I don't know your time frame. I don't know the whole thing, yada, yada, yada. But I will say I got my money's worth because the amount of hours I had in this game, even when it was a lot worse way back when, still met the, the hour per dollar ratio a lot of people like to do. I don't like the hour per dollar ratio. I think it's silly and it completely invalidates all kinds of single player games and the like. But I paid $40 for it and I got 40 hours.
Yeah.
Then put it down. Now I have 60. So like,
I had like 300. So I'm way over that. But anyways.
Yeah, I think it's good to pick up. I think the gameplay is really fun. It's fantastic with friends. It just needs its edges sanded off and a side order of fries. And change the fucking voices. That's it for me today. Quick one, I know. Darktide update, whole thing. We're going into the fall. You want some merch? You see this thing right here? It's beautiful. It's got a very special edition of my boy on it. You can find it at orchidate.com. Also, if you see the product tab on YouTube, it's there also. You can probably click it.
There you go. If you want to check out his stuff. I'm guessing that's his website for his merchandise and stuff. So go support him if you want.
From YouTube itself. They have that function now. It's really, really cool. From there, we got a lot of stuff coming out this fall season. Always a big time for YouTube. Rogue Trader is December, and that's going to be very interesting. So we'll see how that turns out. Lots to do, lots to do. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Come on.
All right, bye, Bricky. All right, we're going to start the process of ending it there. If you liked the video, thank you. And if you disliked the video, thank you for at least giving me a chance. And I want to thank everybody for supporting my videos. We got it monetized now, not fully, but there are memberships, and they are go. It's just $5 or $4.99, and you're mostly going to be, helping me out, right? There's perks to it and stuff, but you're mostly just helping me out and helping the channel grow. And there is a Discord you can join. I do have a Discord and stuff like that, so that way we can play games together, stuff like that as well. I don't know if I want to put content behind a paywall. I don't think that's ever a good idea, in my opinion. And I'm still debating if you want to do early videos or not. If you guys would like that, let me know. But anyways, I just want to thank you guys. It's all because of you guys. So very much appreciate it. But anyways, you guys have a wonderful day. And thank you.